Plot holes like movie Easter eggs or leaked iCloud photos are something we list-writing internet nerds search for on a regular basis. But films aimed at children often get a free pass when it comes to glaring logical lapses, despite how by the numbers some of the stories are in the first place. You may have watched these films more times than I've rewound that scene from Basic Instinct, but there are some mistakes you've probably never even noticed. With that in mind, I'm the other Adam from Whatculture, and just like that time you walked in on your parents supposedly wrestling, these are 10 movie plot holes that will destroy your childhood. Number 10. The Portrait, Beauty and the Beast. We know from information gathered from Disney's seminal, awesome, and plot hole-ridden masterpiece Beauty and the Beast that our prince character, also called Adam, like we need any more of those, was cursed when he was just 11 years old by an enchantress who thought he was a bit rude, which really puts my time on the naughty step into perspective. But that is not the plot hole. The movie takes place 10 years after that incident, with the Beast now around 21 and, just like me at that age, living a life of sad solitude. And yet, there's a painting of him as an adult hanging in one of the rooms. How in the hell did that happen? After all, he was only human until age 11, so there's no way such a painting could or should actually exist. Unless the Beast can also time travel. And seeing as there's a singing candelabra, I suppose anything's possible. Number 9. An inappropriate, to put it another way, befriends a giant death machine sent to kill us all, but which thankfully is a bit forgetful due to a concussion. Anyway, at the end of the movie, the military goes a bit Kim Jong-un, and the giant has to sacrifice himself to stop a nuclear missile from annihilating an entire town. Is the fact that that little boy is probably going to get cancer now, or at the very least have a kid with 11 fingers, because the bolt the general gives to him will be coated in tons of nuclear radiation. Yeah, not such a happy ending now, eh? Number 8. Dennis the Expert, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park and The Lost World were two of my favourite ever movies when I was growing up, and then Jurassic Park 3 came along and made me wish I'd been ambushed by velociraptors so I wouldn't ever have had to have seen such a franchise killer. In the original movie, Dennis Nedry, creator of one of the first ever internet GIFs, is the catalyst for everything going wrong when he lowers the park's security systems to steal dinosaur samples. But as a result, he ends up face to face with a Dilophosaurus, which I imagine is about as bad as being stuck in a car with James Corden. Think about what happens for just a second though. The reason why the dinosaur kills Dennis is because he acts like a complete idiot. Who in their right mind, when confronted with a prehistoric killer, thinks the solution is to play fetch? Don't forget, he is the guy who designed the island's security system, which means he must be familiar with all the dinosaurs and how dangerous they are. As Jeff Goldblum would say, that is one big pile of shit. Number 7. 3 Wishes, Aladdin. Aladdin's a movie about a poor kid living on the streets who lies his way into a hot princess's life and uses the incredible powers of his wisecracking, quip-obsessed Robin Williams-voiced genie to achieve his goal of, let's face it, sleeping with her. What a great lesson to be teaching our kids. Nevertheless, the genie gives him the obligatory 3 wishes, and near the conclusion of the film, Al must decide whether to use his final wish to fulfill his promise to free the genie or to use it to become a prince again. But why? He's already used one wish to be a prince, and as far as I can tell, wishes, a bit like my back tattoo of Adam Blompier, are permanent. Right? Number 6. Christmas presents. The Santa Claus. Oh, 1994. It was the year of the original PlayStation. Blur and Oasis in the charts, and back when people would actually pay money to see things with Tim Allen in them. The plot concerns a dad who accidentally winds up murdering Santa. Another lovely kid-friendly theme there. And as a result, he must take over his job. This comes as a relative shock to Tim Allen's character, who, being an adult, doesn't believe in things like Father Christmas. But then again, why not? In this film's universe, Santa always delivers presents to the houses of every single kid in the world. Surely parents would cotton on pretty quickly if they came downstairs on Christmas morning to find presents they hadn't bought under the tree. It would certainly make buying presents for my spoiled brat of a nephew a hell of a lot easier. Oh, you don't like that present, do you, Charlie? Well, tough. Santa's dead and I killed him. Number 5. Simba and Scar, The Lion King. A story loosely based on Hamlet, set in Africa and with lions instead of people, The Lion King is another classic Disney film we've all seen a million times. But once Scar has killed Mufasa via a well-timed stampede, to complete his evil scheme, all he has to do is dispose of his nephew. Literally, his entire plan hinges on Simba meeting his maker just like his dad did. So why, oh why, doesn't he just kill him right there? Also, let's not forget, Scar is a full-grown lion. Have you seen what those things can do in just one bite? Damn. Instead, though, he lets Simba go and trusts his gang of idiotic hyenas to do the dirty work. If you want something done properly, Scar, do it yourself. Hakuna Matata. Number 4. Accelerated development, Jumanji. We all do things to impress girls when we're young, trying to grow a non-existent moustache, learning a musical instrument, or in the case of Alan Parrish, getting sucked into a board game only to be released 30 years later. Anyway, at the film's conclusion, when they finish playing Jumanji, the second best board game after Whatculture's, available online now and literally described by an Amazon reviewer as dank, time resets itself and we find that we're suddenly back to when Alan and the crush she was playing it with, Sarah, were children before they decided to play the game. It's as if the last 30 years never even happened. But the movie fails to acknowledge that Alan and Sarah are basically their adult selves trapped in children's bodies and remember everything. That is going to send them crazier than Donald Trump as president. Number 3. Levitation, E.T. In Steven Spielberg's touching story of boy meets alien creature from outer space, E.T., our extraterrestrial friend, is accidentally abandoned on Earth when his parents decide, like many of my former sexual partners have, that they'd be better off without him. He ends up hiding from the FBI with Elliot and his family and all the accompanying shenanigans, and then, around 2/3 into the movie, we discover that E.T. not only has the ability to levitate himself, but also a whole fleet of bikes. Which begs the question, why didn't the little fella just fly up when his parents forgot about him? All he had to do was whiz on up, Mr. and Mrs. E.T. could have let him back on board, and then gotten on with the real reason they were on Earth, anal probes of course. Number 2. Forgetful Woody, Toy Story 2. The obvious plot hole from the original Toy Story film is, why does Buzz stop moving when a human comes into the room if he doesn't think he's a toy? But there's also another equally questionable mistake in the sequel. Woody, the cowboy doll equivalent of a bunny boiler, loves his owner Andy and is constantly worried about being replaced or discarded as he grows up. Then again, this mentality doesn't make any sense. Toy Story 2 reveals that Woody is an incredibly rare collector's item from 1958, making him at least 40 years old. Therefore, Andy can't have been the first person to own this needy cowboy. Woody must have made the owner-to-owner transition at least 3 or even 4 times so far. So why is he so concerned when he's been passed around like your mum? Number 1. Daniel's illegal win, The Karate Kid. It's the age-old tale of bit of a dick teenager befriends old Japanese dude and becomes awesome at karate because the 80s, I guess. The Karate Kid, unsurprisingly, culminates in a karate tournament with Daniel taking on all comers and facing his arch-nemesis Johnny in the final round. Despite a severely damaged leg, Dan, in a pose now so iconic it's got a sex position named after it, look it up if you dare, hones all his skills and training into a crane kick right in the kisser, winning the tournament, the respect of his peers, and most importantly of all, hot Elizabeth Shue. Problem is, we already know from the beginning of the tournament that kicks to the face are illegal. All I can assume is the ref thought Johnny, the physical embodiment of every school bully ever, was an arsehole and deserved it, and also kind of felt sorry for the weird kid with the limp whose best mate is an elderly Japanese man who spends his spare time catching flies with chopsticks. And that's our list. Got any more plot holes to add? Tell us about it in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from Whatculture, and I'll see you soon.